Hello everyone and welcome back inside of Destiny the Taken King. Nick here with Degenerate Gaming. As you can see, we are in the back little plaza area and I am currently decked out in full Iron Banner gear. And we are going to go over some Iron Banner gear, and if I don't sound all excited about it, it's because really I'm not. And here's why. We have, our typical armor and gear and stuff, pulse rifle loaders and, that sort of stuff. That's all well and good. I understand there's not a whole lot of different things they can do with this armor to make it good as far as the meta goes, and, different things, different styles for different players. But as you can see, this hand cannon is the exact same roll as last time they sold it. And so is Brettamart's stand. And really, I'm a little perturbed by this. I'm not really pissed off. I'm just kind of a little salty. I'm kind of wondering why in the fuck Bungie couldn't roll out a new roll for us. But regardless, you're not here to hear me bitch. You're here to to hear my opinion on whether these weapons are good or not. So let's dive into it here. For sights on the Finale's Peril, you have the Steady Hand IS, the Fast Draw IS, and the Quick Draw IS, all of which are pretty good, actually. Especially on a hand cannon with these base stats, this is probably one of the few that is actually relatively usable if you get a decent roll on it. This, I don't think, is the roll to make this, work well. But if you can get a good drop on this thing from a match, as far as hand cannons go, and hand cannons are pretty abysmal all around, but it's definitely a usable one. It's probably the only one of the few legendaries I would actually even consider using inside of Crucible. But with that said, let's go over the perks here. We got Relentless Tracker, and as you can see, we have Third Eye, and those are kind of unselectable. It's kind of redundant to have both of these on the same damn gun. I mean, you know what the Relentless Tracker is. You've seen that on the Hunter, obviously, if you've never played that. And the issue that I have with this is that you need to get kills with this weapon, and it only lasts for a short time. So really, this is basically a useless perk, as hand cannons are very hard to get kills with in the first place. And then you kind of get this perk that may help you out in a game mode like Control. Bullets are flying and things are moving so fast. I really don't see this working all that well unless it's unless it's unlocked fully, like all the time, But that's one man's opinion. Third Eye, this is actually not a bad one on this hand cannon. I don't mind this on any of these Iron Banner weapons. This radar being unlocked all the time is a very nice perk to have. Now, granted, would I want something else here in this slot? Yeah, absolutely. I would love to get one with possibly, let's just say for the hell of it, Outlaw and Luck in the Chamber, coupled with something like Small Bore where you decrease the mag size, and this thing is pretty potent. Again, hand load, if you could possibly get Hammer Forged here in this middle column, I think that might be pretty good as well. Definitely want to increase the range on this thing. Small Bore is actually a pretty good perk because you want to increase the range and the stability of this thing in some shape or form. And again, with Luck in the Chamber, that would be a pretty nasty roll, actually. But again, this is a mediocre weapon at best. I'm glad that I already have this because I do not feel like wasting the time to go get it. Also, same thing with the Brettamart's stand. And this is actually a pretty good roll on this one, but we'll get to why I'm not going to piss away my time here in a bit. It's got Solar Burn, it's got Smart Drift Control, Field Choke, and Accurized Ballistics. Not a bad, not a bad set of ballistics here. And it's got a pretty good roll on it. It's got Spray and Play to increase that reload speed, which is pretty short. It's also got Crowd Control, which is great on a machine gun. Help you kind of eat players up in success, burn up that heavy. That damage buff is nice. It's not the greatest thing ever for it, I don't really see, but it also has fitted stock, which increases stability, hand laid stock, which really buffs the stability on it and really kind of kills that range. It also has reinforced barrel, which eats up a lot of that stability and boosts that range pretty quickly. And this is actually a pretty good roll with this thing. Spray and play is a great one on machine guns. Unfortunately, it's not really good for crucible gameplay because typically you're not running your heavy machine gun until it's out of ammo. If you're like me, you're usually running a heavy until you run out of bullets, and you're usually reloading in between kills. That way, you don't have to worry about running out of ammo and getting caught in a slow reload time with a heavy and get gunned down and lose whatever you may have left. And again, like I said, crowd control is a great perk to have on this, as it can help you eat up enemies in succession. That damage bonus to help you get them double and triple kills pretty quickly, and this thing has a very quick time to kill already, so it's again a great one to get on the heavy. And the middle column is kind of a personal preference. Me, I like to run reinforced barrel on this because stability is really, they're usually not too difficult to control with these heavy machine guns, and I'm going to show you guys here a few that I like to use. And you'll see most of them have low stability or stability on the lower end. I don't think that you could probably run hand laid stock too if you really like a more stable machine gun. That range is a little too low for my personal preference, but you could go either way, possibly even fitted stock too. It's probably the best in my opinion on this, just because it has no drawback. However, I like that extra range because I like to run and gun with these things, so I usually go with reinforced barrel along with smart drift control. Or excuse me, not smart drift control, with accurized ballistics, because I don't feel that the penalties to range and impact are worth it. But, and again, this is a pretty solid roll on this machine gun. However, the difficulty lies, why do I want to use this when I have so many better options, when I have Thunderlord? Again, look what I'm losing for what I'm gaining. I get higher magazine size, I get Field Scout, and I get lightning rounds. This is the Unseeing Eye. This is the Trials machine gun that I use quite a bit. Again, it's got some of the lowest range in the game, or as far as heavy weapons in this archetype. It's got slightly higher impact, but it's also got Zen Moment, it's got Spray and Play, and it's got Field Scout. So when I grab a heavy box, I typically get anywhere from 70 to 90 rounds. You also have Quillums, which is another widely used one, and you look and see, these weapons are severely handicapped in range and almost always better than this one here, even with the crowd control on it. The Objection here is another one that I like to use. This one I don't particularly use more in Crucible gameplay. I use it more in PvE content, but that's beside the fact. So again, nothing spectacular. I think both of these weapons, I know that if they had different rolls, and I would say better rolls, I don't really think you could I don't know if you could put a better one on Bread of March stand, but if this Finalis Peril had a better roll, I might actually be tempted to go get it. However, with the state of, Destiny and the Crucible, do I really want to grind through, days of matches just to get that hand cannon that I already have? No. I think my legendary marks are probably better spent at this point on weapons that are going to disappear here in a couple weeks. Like anything that you wanted to get from the vendor that you haven't gotten already. So if you want to buy let's just say for instance, the Burden of Proof, the new Monarchy shotgun, if you want to get a Hawk Saw from our site, whatever the number is down here, anything, the Hung Jury from Jalal, those are all disappearing here in a couple weeks, and I think your legendary marks would probably be better spent on those, guaranteed, if you already have them. So I'll leave you guys with that. Really looking forward to the new update. Hopefully they get Iron Banner guns, get some new rolls on them, along with that April update. But with that being said, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Please remember you can follow me on Twitter, Nick @DegenerateGaming. and we'll see you out there. Bring it back here for more Destiny news and videos.